morning or afternoon. Forget the time of day these days. Is anybody else like that? Where time doesn't seem to have not meaning, but time's just not relevant. Well, it is relevant, but yeah, I keep losing track of the days and time. Just posted a little post on cards are jumping out today. So I just posted, just wanted to come on for a quick update about there's downloads coming through, and I'm going to be doing a Candle Magik. I'm thinking Halloween, 'cause the witch is coming out to play me. That witch in me is wanting to play, so this is why I've been, guided to get the sacred geometry, flower of life, rose petals, surrounded by all my beautiful rose quartz crystals. Pull some Rose Oracle cards, and the Mary Magdalene, of course, was coming through. The beautiful Mary Magdalene. Just come around to pull another message that I can feel is coming through. But yeah, catch this video. If you Rose Quartz, it's about bringing that love to yourself, that self-compassion. Unconditional love, share that to others, share that to yourself. It's, this was one of my very first candles. The very first candle actually, when I started getting the downloads to start a candle business. Spirit's coming through 7 years ago. Everything's 7 years on my path. But yeah, that was the time. It was pretty early on. Spirit was coming through, and I chose the rose, Indian rose fragrance for my first candle to make. I had the little rose buds and little rose quartz embedded in it too, because I knew I didn't just want, a soy wax candle. I wanted that added energy, and I knew that I would get that with rose quartz, and it just went with the fragrance lovely, it all tied in perfectly. And yeah, one of my best sellers, this candle. But it's just come into my knowing, because I'm on the rose lineage path, and the Mary Magdalene knowing has just come into my view this last year, maybe a year and a half. I'm not sure the time scale, but it's all making sense now, is what I'm saying. So your spiritual path, sometimes things unfold when they're meant to. There's a lot of things on my spiritual awakening path I've not known, but like I said in the last video, they all connect. Everything starts connecting. Those dots start connecting. You start putting those jigsaw pieces together. And yeah, I've had downloads coming from last night to do a Candle Magik for manifestation and bringing in love and unconditional love. And Mary Magdalene, she's all about love, unconditional love. This is what the divine feminine high master is bringing back through her return. She's channeling through divine feminines like me, light workers, showers, and this is what's coming back, is the divine feminine energy, the energy of nurturing, love, compassion, unconditional love. This is this is what she's bringing back. But she's also saying the divine masculine energy too. So it's the balance, you know, of the two. But yeah, but this is not just like gender specific neither, you know. The divine feminine energy is coming back for masculines as well, not just divine feminines. It's about balancing the divine feminine and divine masculine out in you, you know, and then you balance those two energies out in you, and you create, you know, that inner balance. That inner balance starts coming back to you once you start balancing these two, you know, very powerful energies out inside of us, which we all hold, by the way. It's just about balancing, finding that balance with both energies. And yeah, you know, it's all making sense to me. You know, I've unravelled a lot on this path, but yeah, I was just drawn to use my candle and create a candle magic. You know, the witch is coming out in me. It's coming to Halloween, and all last night the downloads was flooding in about the videos that are coming up. You know, because that's how it works as well. Though I can get a download just like that instantly, stopping my tracks, what I'm doing in my day, and basically come online. You know, that's how it can work. But then I can also receive downloads, messages from spirit night before. You know, they can keep me awake. The witching hour, 3 to 4. You know, but yeah, I did a post saying I've been called witch and voodoo and all sorts, and yeah, you know, I'll take that as a compliment, because it's just another word for a spiritually awakened person. Maybe Magdalene was, but she was cast as the fallen, you know, woman. She wasn't. She was a spiritually awakened divine feminine, and they feared her power. They feared her message. You know, she walked alongside Jesus as well, you know. She didn't walk behind him. I've done a post on this before. She walked as his equal, you know. So that divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy, that was the balance. Yeah, that's the message. That's why that's why the divine feminine arising, the energy, you know. That's why it's all coming back to us in this new golden age. And that's why people like myself and other light workers and, you know, what are classed as witches are bringing it all back. And we're not being scared anymore to speak this truth neither, because as a light worker, a light shower, you can't fear anybody's judgment of you. I did another post on this. You know, I'm going to get lots of judgments. I've had judgments on this path. I've had judgments all my life for being different, for thinking out the box, for seeing beyond this veil. I don't care anymore, you know, because I'm not here to receive validation from anybody. You know, I'm on this path for a reason, and it is to bring unconditional love back to earth at this new golden age time, you know. And it is through Mary Magdalene. She speaks through me and other light workers and way showers. The message is coming back, you know. What was hidden, long hidden, because they tried to suppress, they tried to hide, you know, this powerful knowing of, you already have this inside of you, you know. It was that that hierarchy, it was that patriarchal control. They doesn't want us to know that we all have it inside of us, you know. Our own beloved is inside. That message that came out yesterday, the kingdom of God is inside of us. We don't have to look outside of ourselves to find that. That was Jesus's message. That was his message, you know, and his teachings and Mary Magdalene's, and that is why there was silenced. But she's saying no more. I can feel it rising, you know, this emotion I'm feeling. The time is now, no more. Just look on YouTube, TikTok. There's more and more of us rising. Why do you think that is? That's not a coincidence. We can't all be having the same visions, the same dreams, the same downloads. See what I'm saying? There's a rising of the divine feminine energy. And that isn't like gender specific, you know, the divine feminine energy, which is nurturing, loving, compassionate. This is what the earth needs at this time. And it also needs the masculine as well. So it needs the balance of the two. But yeah, I'm very much on the divine feminine rose lineage path. And this is why I understand the messages and the downloads. And as I'm a high master as well, you know, from my past lifetime, let's say, that knowing's come back to me. And this is why I know this sacred knowledge. This is why I understand crystals. This is why I understand Candle Magik, you know. This is how I know how to spell cast. And it sounds witchy. Yeah, of course it does. But witches were spiritually awakened people. Yeah? But there was also silenced because they held too much knowledge, sacred knowledge. And there was people that didn't want us knowing that. Because then you take back your control. You take back that inner knowing of you don't need higher establishments to, you know, fulfill yourself. Everything is inside of you already. So, yeah, pretty powerful message coming through from Mary Magdalene again. Whew, I can feel the emotion. And yeah, I'd just like to say as well, if anybody wants to comment and leave not so nice, comments, please don't bother. Don't waste your time and don't waste my time. It's pointless because I just delete and I go on with my day, so it doesn't affect me. It just proves to me that, you know, not everybody's ready to heal, not everybody's ready to take that journey. You know, that's what it just says to me, and that I trigger people, which I did a post on this the other day. I do trigger people, I'm meant to. But yeah, don't waste your time. I'm sure you have got better things to do than drop me a laughing emoji or something, you know, about what I've said, which isn't coming from me, by the way. It's coming from the higher divine. It's coming from the divine feminine higher masters. And the person that channeled these oracle cards, she's one of the most, you know, beautiful angelic people I've come across, and her message is the message of Mary Magdalene. So you see, I'm not on this path alone. We're never alone, never truly alone, you know. So yeah, don't waste your time. It's pointless, and it's bad karma too. You know, what you give out, you get back. And also on this path, we're very, very much protected by the divine, by our angels, because they want us protected, you know, because we've got a very, very powerful message that we're bringing back to the people here. And this message has been hidden, you know. These teachings have been hidden for many, many, many a time, you know. But the time is now. The divine feminine is rising. Divine feminine energy is rising. The time is now. You know, global awakening. That awakening is happening, you know. It's called global. So it's a mass awakening, you know. It's that new golden age, and we're showing the way. But yeah, we get a lot of stick for it, and it's a shame, really. But do you know what that does? That fortifies us. That just strengthens us, and then it also pushes us to speak about it more. It's called Divine Feminine Rising for a reason, because this message needs to get out, and it's been long, you know, hidden. But yeah, message is Mary Magdalene is, you know, she's that returning prophet of Jesus's teachings, and, you know, very powerful teachings. What nobody wanted us to know, but the time is now, she's saying. So yeah, just came on to talk about my candle, but should have known it was more of a more of a message, as I should have known. But yeah, I shall be doing a video on candle magic, and I'm going to include Reiki, and I'm going to burn this candle, because fire, you know, burns away all negativity, burns away all doubts. You know, fire is very powerful energy, transformative, very transformative. So it transforms all that you don't want. And yeah, you know, the ones that receive this with, you know, an open heart and yeah, being opened heart is what they're saying, then they'll receive they'll attract things to them, like a rose, like this card that came out this morning alongside. I was just going to do the candle, but I felt drawn to do the cards as well. And it says, come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance desires. Now this matches perfectly with this candle, because the rose does attract things, you know. The rose attracts those bees to it, that nectar. The rose doesn't go off chasing things, it stays perfectly still, and it attracts things, abundance, love, it receives. So yeah, this card came out alongside this, and also this card came out, number 8, and remember thy heart holds no lies, for in thy heart is only thy truth in love. So the truth is in your heart. It always has been. It's just been hidden. Just like the messages from Jesus and Mary Magdalene. It's been hidden too long. And light workers, light showers, they're bringing this message back. It's time now. The world needs to hear it. And yeah, the bravest will continue getting this message out. You have to be brave to be on this path, you know. It's you get all sorts slung at you, like I was saying the other day. I've only had maybe two not so nice comments or laughing emojis and clown faces and things like that, you know. I've had two messages like that in all the time I've been doing this. The rest absolutely beautiful and lovely. Yeah, that shows me, you know, you're opening your hearts, you know. The message is getting out there. It's slowly trickling out. I know it's going to take time. Us light workers know it's going to take time. We're up against it. It's not an easy path. But we are here to, you know, the time is now. You know, I've had this message for months and months on many videos. The time is now. Because it is. There's no other time. It's happening now. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there, because this, yeah, it's turning into a full, download. As it usually does. But yeah, so Candle Magik is coming up, and I'm going to do that on Halloween, because, you know, the veils are thinning. The veils are thinner now, you know, we're heading into Halloween. And yeah, and if you've been following me, you also know my dear mum passed away about a month back now, and we're still to have a service, and her service is on Halloween, tomorrow, and that's just the date that we could get, you know. It wasn't planned or anything like that, but yeah, the veils are thinner, you know. around Halloween. The spirit, you know, to the physical realm, earthly realm, those veils are thinner. That's why, you know, I'll get more downloads, more messages, more than usual. Like I said, this came in last night and I couldn't sleep because, you know, spirit keeping me awake. But yeah, so Candle Magik coming up. It should be a good one. I'm going to include rose quartz Reiki, love, light language, you know, unconditional love, light language. Yeah, just going to bring in a lot of heart opening energy and abundance, and you know, bring that abundance to us. You know, that's what the rose does. It brings the bees to it. Don't go chasing. We was never meant to chase. We was never meant to live in lack, scarcity. We are abundance. You know, we hold that inside us. This is part of the message. This is why the patriarchy, you know, that it was about control. Well, she's saying no more. You know, we're rising now. And it is the divine feminine rising time, and divine masculine energy rising as well. Is, you know, the balance of the two. Right, I shall go now because I have to. Got a busy day. Yeah, just I had to pop on because, well, the downloads come when they come. That's how it works on this path. We don't have control, so to speak. You know, talk about control, but we do have control. Of course, we do. It's not about control. You know, I love being on this path now. I think it's a beautiful path. You know, now I've got through all my healing. And stages of, you know, my twin flame path. I absolutely love being who I am and bringing this, you know, these messages to others. I know that's why I'm here. You know, it's a high purpose, and that's not coming from an ego. I've got no ego. I've balanced all that out. You know, it's about balancing. It's not about eradicating things. It's that balance. So it's not about having divine masculine energy higher than the divine feminine. It's creating that balance of two. You know, that's where the real you comes online. Then that inner union with yourself comes in. That's where it comes online. Right, I'm going to leave it because yeah, I think they're finished. Yeah, so yeah, I'll leave it here, and I'll see you all soon with the Candle Magik on Halloween. Cannot wait. Should be a really, really good one. Can feel it's going to be a good one. So yeah, shall see you soon. Bye.